Hello. Here we are again. This is an experiment, episode 3. Today is July 28th, 2021, 11:27 p.m. Oh, what a day today has been. I don't even know if I went in to check today's statistics. Did anybody see episode 1 or 2? Nope, nobody has seen either of them yet. So here we are, episode 3. Still, no one's seen anything. I feel like I'm getting very comfortable very quickly with just kind of like talking about whatever. Um, I feel like I've been ignoring a certain aspect of myself that I can't really do anymore. One of the things that I've developed over time is painful self awareness, and it's a gift and a curse. One of the things that I realized recently is what I'm doing in business. I'm kind of I've been deluding myself into a rationalization of devolving into the thing that I've grown to resent. Uh, I'm just grasping at straws. Um, and I have to get my shit together. I have to get my shit together. I have to figure out what am I actually gonna do anything, What is my next offer? What is my offer? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like I have a existential crisis every 3 to 5 business days. Here I am. Not everything in life is about business, though. I went to I got dinner with a couple friends that I haven't seen for a while, which, funny enough, happens immediately after yesterday. I was talking about how lonely I am and didn't pay attention at all to the fact that I had plans to get together with a couple people today. Um, and it was something interesting happened because we met at my friend's place, and his sister was there. It feels so childish, like talking about this, saying something like this, and like I never met her before, and it's not like a friend that I'm incredibly close with, but it was just something. She was really pretty, and it was not just that she was pretty, but there was like an essence about her that was just like captivating to me, enchanting almost. Um, and I like was just drawn to her and her presence. And it was weird. It was interesting. That doesn't happen to me very often. And so, I can start asking the questions of, well, why? But does it really actually matter? And I mean, the thing is, not available. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, not not worth exploring in any capacity. But it was an interesting thing for me to at least experience that, when you wonder, for someone like me, just like a little bit of backstory. I've been single for, oh, it hurts saying this, 4.5 years now. 4.5 years I've been single. Last relationship I was in 4.5 years ago was for about 2.5 months. And it fell apart, and I've been single ever since. Not by choice. It would be nice to have a relationship with somebody that I care about, that cares about me and all of that stuff, and checks most of the boxes. Doesn't have to check all the boxes. I understand that you can't have your cake and eat it too, okay? I'm not that, not that naive anymore. Um, but, so for someone like me, romance is not an easy thing for me in like whatever way you slice it. And sometimes, I start to question, like, am I even capable of, being interested in someone actually? There's so often I, meet someone or I meet people. I'm like, cool, yep, you seem like an awesome person, but like I just there's nothing there. And then randomly someone will show up and I will just feel like magnetically drawn to them for whatever reason. And every single time they're unavailable. It's like I swear every time that's how it happens. Is that I'm like, oh, you caught my interest. Oh, and you're not available. Cool, got it. Well, so we'll throw that into the no go bucket, and just kind of let it die a slow and painful death. Not really. That's really dramatic. Um, but it was an interesting sensation. It was an interesting experience to have, to actually feel that, where I meet someone for the first time and there's some sort of attraction beyond, oh, you're just, you're pretty, or oh, you seem like a cool, like, it was just, I don't know, how to explain it. How do you explain it? I don't know. So I had that experience, and it was one of those things where, like, I didn't even know what to do with myself in that moment. Like, there was even a moment when there was a brief exchange of words between, just the two of us. And it was like, hey, look at this thing. And we were showing pictures of things on our phone. Doesn't matter. It's stupid. But I was just like, I didn't even know what to do with myself. I didn't even know what to say. I didn't know how to act, because, part of me was like, I want to get your number and ask you out, but at the same time, you're not available, so I'm not going to go down that path. And so, but it's one of those things that it brought, what it did for me is it brought this perspective into what it actually means to be attracted to someone. And like, when that you're actually, like, attracted, there's, you're going through life, we meet all sorts of people, and some we're drawn to more than others, and to some we're more drawn to, and I don't feel that towards very many people at all, flat out. So anytime that does happen, it's almost like, okay, so this is what it feels like. Is it a bummer that it's not with that person? I mean, who knows? I might actually, I could get to know this person, find out, oh yeah, we're actually not at all, compatible. But the point isn't about the person as much as it is about the feeling, and remembering what it actually feels like to be attracted to someone. Which, it sounds trivial, uh, but for me, it's like, it was a really interesting moment, because I was like, oh yeah, that's right. This is what it feels like physically, like in the body, to just be attracted to someone beyond the conventional definitions, I guess. And then I started asking about, not asking myself, really, about some other people that had come into my life, where it was like, yeah, it was almost a moment of clarity, of knowing that some other, women that had come into my life, that have been like, yeah, this, you know, yeah, it was like this moment of clarity of like, okay, yeah, it definitely, those ones that have come are not it, because, like, this feeling of attraction that I'm experiencing right now, I don't get that. And I didn't get that from any of these others, and I know that that's what it's actually supposed to feel like. So it's kind of like, this feeling with this person gave me the ability to close the doors to some of the others, including the person because they're not available, which is besides the point. Um, but Rico, hey, but it was a very interesting experience, all in all. Come on. There we go. We got doggo on board today. This is my dog Rico. Rico, say hi. Um, yeah, very interesting experience. So that's what went on today. One of the things that went on today. Why am I blabbing about this? I don't know. Because this is an experiment. This is my video diary. This is my journal. This is me documenting the little things that happen. I digress. I was talking about business and this idea of kind of like, there's this whole social media charlatan, coaching thing, this whole racket of being a coach. And one of the things that it's like I'd thought about being able to do this for so long, and then I almost got like pulled into this, one particular way of doing things, and come to realize that like it just like put this really sour taste of coaching in my mouth, even though I know how powerful it can be and how much I can help other people and how much other people can help other people and the true value of coaching and life and business and all of that. But after this, like it just, I don't know. I feel like this is my journey. Look, when I asked how long is it going to take for me to just like spill my guts on everything, like no holds barred, apparently it's 3 days because I don't give a fuck anymore. No one's going to see this. I've got 2 days of people not seeing this, so I doubt anybody else is going to see this. Here's the next interesting part of the experiment. And this may never happen, or it could happen tomorrow. The world may never know until it does. Is how will things change after somebody finds this, right? Question is, I go and I blab on and on and on because I don't feel like anybody's actually ever going to watch this. And I check the statistics and I look and it's like, is anybody watching this? Is anybody watching it? No, 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 no. And then one day I go and I refresh the statistics on all the videos and I see that one person watched a video. Not only did they watch a video, maybe they watched 3 videos or 5. I don't know. How long have I been doing this? How does this happen? This is an experiment. So then what I won't know who that person is. I mean, unless they like directly send me a message and say, "Hey, I'm watching what you're doing. What's up?" Unless they identify themselves, I'm going to have no idea who it is. And so the question is, whenever that happens, if it happens, how's that going to change the way that I, show up and talk about stuff? Am I going to keep doing it the same way? Am I going to pull back? Am I going to lean in? What's that going to look like? I don't know. We'll see when that happens. I digress. No holds barred. I started going into this, like, I was like, I want to be a coach. I want to help people. Right. When I started all of this back in the summer of 2020, I want to help people. I want to do this. I want to be a coach. Right. This is what I want to do. I know I can help people. I know I can give people really valuable insight into what they can do to become better versions of themselves. And then I was at a bit of a crossroads. Not a crossroads, really. But I was like, okay, well, cool. I can do this. I know I can do this. How do I actually enroll clients? How do I get people to pay me money for this? How do I connect with them? How do I find them? What do I have to do to get people to actually pay me money for this? And I enrolled in this, group coaching thing. And because they were the kind of just the first ones to ever. I don't know. They did the thing that they do really well to sell me the thing that they sell, and I, and it was a lot of money. I guess is what they'll say. Try to manipulate. And I did it, and I did it, and I did it, and I did it, and I just wasn't seeing the results. Wasn't seeing the results. And then I got and then I stopped doing it that way. I started doing it a different way. I enrolled a couple clients. And because it was in the middle of a global pandemic, the only way at the time I could really connect with people was through the internet in online marketing. And so that's what I did. And and then what ended up happening, so all of this process, they all talk about, having your course and your IP and, the result that you're selling people for an info product and it's like, wait, and I just lost sight of what I was actually trying to do, what I actually wanted to do, the way that I actually work best. And it's not in that framework, It's not. And then because there were so many people like me that were struggling to find money in the middle of a pandemic, they were like, well, maybe I can do this too. So then, the industry got saturated, flooded. All of the people that had been at it for a hot minute were able to, get a lot of success. The ones that haven't been, not so much. And hold on one second. I hear something. Yep, just as I suspected, my dog had gotten one of my plugs on that was on my nightstand and started gobbling it up, and it fell out of his mouth. So I had to go get it before he picked it back up and swallowed it. So there I was, balls deep into this shitty, web of entrepreneur, like just a bunch of online, businesses, circle jerking each other's bank accounts, jerking off each other's bank accounts. It's just like, it's incestuous. I mean, I guess all business is, in some capacity. It's just shuffling money around bank accounts. My money goes and hangs out in someone else's bank account, and then their money comes and hangs out in mine, and it just all just bounces around. But it's like, what is that really? I don't know. But none of it. I titled myself a mindset coach at the beginning of it, right? Mindset coach. I help people with their mindset. And found out it's really hard to sell mindset. Create an IP, create a program. Like, that's not what I do. What I do is I reflect back to people the things that they're not seeing. Like, the way that I describe it is like, imagine that, like, you're getting your hair cut, right? And you got the back of your head, but you can't see it. Even if you look in a mirror, you can't see the back of your head. So what do? They give you another mirror, they spin you around, and so you see the mirror through the second mirror so that you can see the back of your head. That's what I do to people's minds, right? The shit that's in the back of their mind that they can't see. I'm that second mirror that reflects it back to them. Not just the front one, but the back one. That's where I really shine, because it's those insights. It's those insights that make the difference. I did that for a client one time, and she didn't have a panic attack for 2 weeks. Last time I checked. Maybe I don't know. Should probably check in with her. But here's the thing is that, like, it got really hard to sell that. It didn't just get really hard. It was really hard. Like, selling mindset is really hard because in this day and age, if it doesn't help people make more money, they don't give a fuck. Is it going to help? Can you directly tie it to me making more money? No, I can't. But if you can't do that, it's really hard to sell something. It's really hard. And then I started finding people that needed help with marketing and sales. And then I sold a couple people on that. I've been doing that. And I was like, well, maybe this is my new offer. Maybe I'm going to, have a content creation course and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I'm a marketing person now. That's okay. And I know all this. And because it's about people and blah, blah, and all this. And I was like, and this week, I just like, I feel like I came face to face with it where it's like, because this is what happens to a fair number of people in that space is this is the process. I'm going to be a coach and make money online. And then they learn all of the stuff about how to sell coaching online, but they can't sell their own coaching. And so what do? They sell online marketing to coaches, even though it didn't work for them. And I was like, fuck, I'm doing that. The one thing, like one of the things that I've grown to resent, here I am doing it. And it's like, I can't, in integrity, do that. I mean, I could do it, but it would be out of integrity with me and who I am and like what I stand for. And, this always comes back to the question of what will you or will you not do to achieve the success that you want or to make the money that you want. I even made a post about this. The plausible deniability is no excuse for taking advantage of vulnerable people. And this idea of, having legacies built on the back of exploitation, because the people all the way at the top, what do they hear stories about? I'm just gonna throw out an example. Big name, high ticket group coaching mastermind workshop thing, right? $10,000 for 10 weeks. You get access to video modules. You have no extended one-to-one coaching, even though they call it a coaching program. But you get group calls and group workshops and all of that stuff. But it's the kind of thing that works for people that already have a solid foundation to whatever it is that they do, and they just need some subtle tweaks. But their sales guys are selling it to people that aren't qualified in that way. Someone like me, for example, never had any sort of business before, starting from scratch, but I know I can help someone. And so they sell it. But it's not, I'm not the person that fits that, right? If you've got a product that is intended to be used by people that have had established businesses and you sell it to someone that doesn't have an established business, you're selling to an unqualified person, right? Like, would you sell I'm trying to think of a good example here. Would you sell diesel fuel to someone that drives a Honda Civic? Well, no. They're not compatible. And so it's like that kind of thing. But the guys all the way at the top that have already exited the business, they don't know that that's happening, nor do I think they really care. They're making their money. They're getting their paychecks. They're worried about managing they're managing from the top down. They don't give a shit. Like it doesn't matter anymore to them, right? Oh, someone in our company sold something to someone that isn't qualified. Well, sucks for all of you, but I still get my paycheck. They have that plausible deniability. Well, I didn't sell it to you. One of my guys sold it to you, but I don't. That's not my responsibility. It's on them. Well, you hired them, right? But you're not holding them accountable. They talk about taking accountability in your own shit and owning your shit. Well, you're selling shit to people that are unqualified for it, putting them in debt, and you're not taking accountability for that, and you're pushing it off onto them. There's a lot of problems with it. And that plausible deniability is used as a mask, as a kind of like a protection almost. And it's like it's really easy to cast stones from all the way up there on your high horse. I get that you started somewhere and that you had to do all sorts of hard work and all of these things. And, when we get back to, I'm going to pull this all the way back to what are you willing and not willing to do to achieve your success? Are you willing to exploit vulnerable people? Are you willing to take advantage of vulnerable people? Are you willing to act out of integrity? Are you willing to compromise your ideals or your idea of integrity? Are you willing to compromise or, shift the paradigm of your personal values so that you can justify particular actions or processes or things that are going to ultimately lead you to having more money? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to put your people through? What are you willing to put your family through? What are you willing to put your friends through? Who are you willing to give up? Who are you willing to disappoint? Who are you willing to fail? Right? Fail your way to success, even if that means you drag other people down in the process. That doesn't sound ethical to me at all. You can do it and make a shit ton of money, but then what, you want to guilt somebody for not being able to do what it takes to make money? Oh no, you're just looking at it the wrong way, bro. You're just looking at it the wrong way. If you just need to change your mindset. Change my mindset to believe that it's okay to exploit vulnerable people. I can't do that. I won't do that. I mean, I could do it, sure, but I won't do it. And that's like, and that's what I'm coming up against. To kind of bring this back to where I'm at right now is that I got to look inside the machine, behind the curtain, the inner workings of all of this. And it's like, it's like politics. Once someone gets into politics, you can't undo that, So you got to peek behind the curtain. You can't unsee it. Once you see the matrix, you can't unsee it. And on the one hand, I just kind of want to say, fuck it. I'm out. But then I'm giving up on my dream because I got a bad taste in my mouth from a bunch of jackholes that fucking manipulate people into. Oh, well, now you're just acting like the victim, bro. You got to check that victim mentality. Gaslighting, right? I don't know. Am I acting like the victim? here's the thing. You can be just because you're a victim doesn't mean you have to identify with it. When I talk about, my overcoming mental illness, is the primary thing is that I chose to not identify with the aspects of me that felt like a victim. I'd become a victim of my mental illness, so I chose to stop identifying with it. But, it's doesn't mean that I wasn't a victim. No, it just means that I choose to stop associating with it that way. And so by calling out all of these shitty practices and being upset and, waving my finger and pointing in all the directions, it's like, this sucks that this stuff is happening. And the only thing that I can do is say, okay, well, what do I do now? All of that stuff has already happened. All of the things that brought me to where I am right now have already happened. I can't change any of it. So what do I do now? What do I do now to take back my power over it? That's the $1 million question, right? What do you do to take back power? Well, the first question you ask is, what did I give my power away to? Right? What did I give my power away to? I give my power away to... Well, I don't know, because I feel like I've reclaimed it at this point. It doesn't matter what I gave it away to. Better question is, what do I do with that power now? Because, yeah, I can lash out and I can be, fuck all of you guys. Y'all suck dick, even though you're just going to look at me like I'm another fucking hater because I don't agree with you, because you've deluded yourself into believing that you're the hero. And their response would probably be something like, well, now you're deluding yourself into being the victim, to gaslight me, even though I don't feel like the victim. They'd be like, well, you sound like a victim. And I'd tell them to go fuck themselves. That's... what do other people think, right? Does it matter what other people think? Not really. This, and that's one of the things that always comes back to. Does it matter what other people think? Does it matter if somebody else thinks that I'm a victim for saying this? No. Doesn't matter. It's like, cool, you may think I'm a victim, but you're wrong. Maybe you're trying to call me a victim because that's the only way that you maintain power over me, is that you're the victim and I'm the victim, right? Manipulation tactic. Manipulation 101. It doesn't matter, though, because what I know in my heart is that when I'm speaking out against a perceived injustice, it is to speak for those that can't speak for themselves, right? The people that want to say something, but they're too afraid to. Martyrdom comes to mind. Do I like being the martyr? Do I like being the martyr to my own story? It's not something I want to go into tonight, but it's definitely a thing. Casual musings of a modern mind. Martyrdom. Modern martyr. Let's play with words. So what am I doing now? What am I doing next? What's next on the docket for me? The tricky place that I've fallen into is that I'm doing something that can make some money, but not a lot of money, and it's not money that I want to be making. So I can keep doing that and make the money, or I can find a different way to make money. I've always said there's a million ways to make $1 million. The snag that I find myself in is that I still have to pay bills. Bills got to be paid. Bills got to be paid. I don't know, maybe I should just go back to school. It's the other conundrum. I've thought about this. Last time when I dropped out of school, I said 5th time's the charm. Look, my life fucking fell apart last time I dropped out, and I was in a really shitty place in life in general. I could go back to school now, probably do a lot better. And when I say do a lot better, I mean actually finish this time. But it's not in the cards. It's not. As much as I, even like wish it could be, because it involves a handful of things. It involves going back to school, involves all the shit that everything else involves: time, money, energy, right? The 3 things that go into just about anything. The 3 investments you can make in life: investing time, investing money, investing energy. I don't have enough money to be able to go back to school and sustain business. I don't have the money for it. The time that I spend back in school, I'd be sacrificing that time for the time that it takes to make money. It's just like this inverted feedback loop where nothing quite works out. Unless I had a job that stabilized my income. But that's kind of why I'm here, is that I'm not really qualified to do much of anything that would stabilize my income, which is why I'm here. Is like my most valuable skill set is being able to show people how they're thinking about things in the wrong way. Maybe not in the wrong way, but in a way that would be more empowering, or shine light on the things that will help them do better. Therapist. I would be a really good therapist. Do I want to be a therapist? Not really. No. Why don't I want to be a therapist? Well, I don't want to work with people that have trauma. I'm not a trauma healer. It's not what I do. It's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to help people figure out the problems of their past. I'm here to help give people insight into creating a better future. I guess a therapist could do that too, but that's really not. When I think of therapy, I think about healing trauma. That's all my experiences have been with therapists. Let me heal all my trauma. Let me heal all the bad shit that's happened in the past. But what do I do now to move forward? I don't know. Therapy is something that happens in the past. Coaching is something that happens in the future. Therapy fixes the past. Coaching creates a better future. Collapses time. I don't know. I just need to figure out how to make it work. Ultimately, what's the all-encompassing thing? The moral of all of this, the dilemma. What do I got to do to make it work? because that's what a victor does, not a victim. You know, it's good to get all this shit out, vent about it, talk about it, release all the feelings. But ultimately, it comes down to, okay, cool story, bro. What are you going to do about it? And I'm going to figure out how to make it work. Because that's what I do. I figure out how to make shit work. I haven't figured out a way to make it work yet. Clock's ticking. Gotta happen soon. So we'll figure it out. I'll figure out a way to make it work. All right. Today is Thursday, July 29th, 12:08 a.m. This was 40 minutes. What a fucking long one. If anybody actually sees this at any point ever and you stuck around all the way until the end, bless your heart. I don't even know if I would watch this. Peace out, Girl Scout.